Air ambulance lands on belly at Mumbai airport after landing gear fails. India reports highest cases and deaths ever in this pandemic. Prime Minister reviews health measures and vaccination. Supreme Court asks the centre, what's the plan for the third wave? All 5 poll states see record cases on the 6th of May among 11 states reporting their highest daily cases. Pandemic moves south. Major surge in South India. Desperate patient arrives at assembly in ambulance. In Chennai, lines of ambulances outside hospitals. After Sputnik, there's Sputnik Light. New single-dose COVID vaccine is approved by Russia. And Mumbai to get drive-in vaccination centres in every zone within 24 hours. Hello and welcome to NDTV 24/7. I'm Rohit Willington. Let's begin with our top story. An air ambulance made an emergency landing at the Mumbai airport on Thursday after losing a wheel during takeoff from Nagpur. The flight, which was carrying 2 crew members, a patient, a relative and a doctor, was diverted to Mumbai International Airport after it reported the technical snag. The airport's emergency response team, including the fire and rescue responders, Follow Me vehicles, security, medical teams, among many others, was activated instantly and on standby to provide immediate assistance to ensure the safe evacuation of the passengers. As a precautionary measure, the airport also foamed the runway in order to avoid the aircraft catching fire. All passengers were evacuated safely and the flights operating in and out of the Mumbai airport remain on schedule. Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri tweeted, a jet-served ambulance with a patient on board lost a wheel during takeoff from Nagpur. Showing immense presence of mind, Captain Kesari Singh belly-landed the aircraft on foam carpeting in Mumbai. All on board are safe, commendable effort by DGCA, the airport authorities and other agencies. Now on Thursday, India reported highest number of cases and deaths since the pandemic began here in India. 4,12,262 cases in the span of just 24 hours and deaths nearly 4,000. The positivity rate on Thursday was 21.43%. Now, all 5 poll states have seen record cases on the 6th of May. West Bengal, Assam, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Puducherry have all recorded their highest daily cases till date. This comes 4 days after the election results. These 5 are among 11 states which have reported their highest cases on Thursday, the others being Karnataka, Punjab, Uttarakhand, Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Goa. The number of people who got vaccinated in the last 24 hours has gone up by almost 3 lakhs to a total of 19.5 lakhs. However, this is still far too low a pace. In fact, the 7-day average on Thursday has dipped to 18 lakhs. In comparison, this was over 36 lakhs at its peak about a month ago. Prime Minister Modi on Thursday expressed concern about the flagging pace of vaccinations as he held a meeting to review the public health response to the coronavirus crisis, marked by shortages of the jabs as well as essentials like hospital beds and oxygen that have led to thousands of deaths. A note from his office said that the Prime Minister spoke about the need to sensitize states that the speed of vaccination doesn't come down. Meanwhile, the pandemic seems to have moved south as South India witnesses a surge in cases in Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu's capital, Chennai, in fact, there are lines and lines of ambulances outside hospitals.
Grief of losing a loved one made more tragic and painful by the suspicion that it may not have happened had there been enough oxygen at this Government Medical College Hospital in Chengalpet, 60 kilometers from Chennai. 13 patients died here in the intervening night of Tuesday, Wednesday. There were 12 suspected COVID patients and one had positive. Authorities, however, deny any disruption in oxygen supply.
More ambulances, patients were there. We should go by line only, one by one only.
How long you waited here?
We waited alone for 3 hours.
3 hours?
3 hours. Because bed not available.
60 kilometers away in capital Chennai, there are no beds left for critical patients at private hospitals. The city has been reporting over 6,000 positive cases every day. On Monday, 18 ambulances carrying critically ill patients waited all night long on the road leading to the government Rajiv Gandhi Medical College Hospital. Without not just a bed, but much needed medical care.
Doctor, please, please! Madam, we will call, madam. Doctor, please!
Some screamed for help, literally. Manika Vasagam works at a petrol station and had to wait for 3 hours this morning when he brought his 70-year-old father on oxygen support in a rickety private ambulance.
Around 7,000 odd beds would be added by 7th. So that will help ease out the situation. But having said that, we all are in that borderline case where we all cannot say that, we are overconfident about the bed capacities.
On Monday, Manoj, a college student, had to wait for 8 hours before his father was finally admitted.
About 10 hours, sir. About 10 hours to admit my father. In my age is 20, but I don't want to another person that difficult want to see, sir. But it is more pain now.
Tamil Nadu's positivity case is at 15.6%. Cases are rising from a daily 3,000 a month ago to more than 23,000 every day now, and at least 10% of them would need hospital care. The massive poll campaign also contributed to the spike in numbers. When M.K. Stalin takes oath as Chief Minister on Friday, he will have to hit the ground running. Already he has appealed to private hospitals to provide maximum beds at concessional price. He has also asked for a war room to effectively coordinate demand and availability. In Chennai with Shah Vijay, Sam Daniel, for NDTV.
Meanwhile, take a look at these pictures from Bengaluru, where a patient went to Vidhan Saudha in ambulance seeking a bed. Her family members started protesting in front of the Vidhan Saudha. Subsequently, Chief Secretary Ravi Kumar arranged a bed for the patient at Government's Victoria Hospital. That's the desperation there on the ground. Now, as COVID cases surge, the oxygen surplus Kerala is asking for more oxygen. Sneha Koshi finds out why.
About 300 such oxygen cylinders have been taken from private industrial units in the last 4 days in Thiruvananthapuram. Kerala is bracing for a surge in the demand for oxygen.
Oxygen cylinders നേരിടുന്ന പശ്ചാത്തലത്തിലും കോവിഡ് ഇത്രയും രൂക്ഷമായിട്ട് നിൽക്കുന്ന സാഹചര്യത്തിലാണ് ഇത് തുടങ്ങാനിടയായിട്ടുള്ളത്. ഡിസ്ട്രിക്ട് അഡ്മിനിസ്ട്രേഷനാണ് ഡിസാസ്റ്റർ മാനേജ്മെന്റിന്റെ കീഴിലാണ് ഇത് ചെയ്യുന്നത്.
The challenge is not only availability but also supply, and therefore on the ground you have tehsildars who are attaching industrial cylinders like these to buffer zones in each district, converted into medical oxygen cylinders so that they can be rushed to wherever there is an emergency need in each of these districts.
To be sure, Kerala is still an oxygen surplus state with the availability of 220 metric tons of oxygen a day. However, its demand has doubled in the last few weeks to 150 tons a day. And now the government has asked the centre for 1,000 tons to build a buffer stock. The urgency is that Kerala's 2-week cases have tripled to 4.5 lakhs. Significantly, Kerala has not told its oxygen factories to stop exporting to nearby needy states.
Day after tomorrow, we are going for a lockdown. So obviously what we expect is that the requirement would kind of a plateau after maybe 1 week. So If you project it for 1 week, that may reach around 200 metric ton.
And what happens if that increases?
No, that's exactly we has requested for more oxygen supplies from wherever we can get. So we would ensure that that is being availed, and that's exactly why every day oxygen is being reviewed at the level of Honorable Chief Minister and Health Minister itself.
Kerala has ordered for 9-day complete statewide lockdown starting 8th May. With camera person SP Babu, Sneha Koshi for NDTV.
Now, the pandemic has hit the poor the hardest. According to an employment report by the Azim Premji University, 230 million more people have fallen below the poverty line in this period. What's the effect on the ground? Here's a report.
ये हफ्ता वापस मेरा 2 हफ्ता टूट चुका है, अभी ये तीसरा है, तो अभी ये भी नहीं भरेगा तो फिर औरत का मंगलसूत्र रखना पड़ेगा.
Deepak Sonawne, 48-year-old rickshaw driver in Mumbai and a father of 4 children. It has been 2 hours since he got his last customer. Today, he could earn only 200 rupees after spending 6 hours on road. He has a bank EMI to pay, 5,511 rupees per month. Else, his auto would be seized.
परवानाधारक रिक्षा चालक आहेत, त्या रिक्षा चालकांना सुद्धा एका वेळेचा आपण 1500 रुपये हे देतो आहोत.
CM Uddhav Thackeray, while announcing lockdown-style restrictions, said 1,500 rupees will be given to auto rickshaw drivers who hold permit, but Sonawne hasn't received any.
मेरा 3 महीने का हफ्ता रखड़ा था, तो मैं पैसा देने के लिए नहीं था लॉकडाउन का, तो मेरा बच्ची का चेन गिरवी रख के मैंने हफ्ता दे दिया.
Suryakant Kandarpale, father of 2 small children, sells vegetables in Mumbai's Worli. He pays 6,000 rupees as rent for staying in his stall. Now his income has fallen to less than that because he's only allowed to keep their stall open from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. He has got a business loan of 50,000 rupees and is now asking his parents for more money.
गांव में देने का तो गांव से लेके आना पड़ रहा पैसा उल्टा. हम लोग पहले गांव में 2,000 3,000 का माँ बाप को भेजता था. ऐसा रहेगा तो हमारा बहुत जीना मुश्किल हो जाएगा हमारा.
Prakash Nadar is differently able. He owns a store which helps differently able people in making government documents like PAN card, passport, etc. This was his only source of income, and with the store being shut, he could not pay his 2 employees.
मम्मी डायबिटीज पेशेंट है और मेरे 2 बच्चे हैं और मेरे घर का रेंट था और पूरा खर्चा इसी से चलता था मेरा, क्योंकि अभी कुछ नहीं कर रहा मैडम. अभी घर चलाने के लिए हमने एक बैंक से लोन लिया, जिस लोन से हम अपना परिवार चला रहे हैं.
According to an employment report by the Azim Premji University, 230 million additional individuals fell below poverty line during the pandemic. Women have suffered more. Over 46% of women who lost their job during the lockdown have not got another job, compared to only 7% men. The poorest 20% lost all their income to unemployment, while the top 20% lost a quarter. Rural India saw 15% increase in poverty, while urban India saw a 20%. Maharashtra, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh and Delhi contributed disproportionately to job losses, meaning most job losses happened here.
Yes, the health is priority right now, but once the second wave subsides, we will have to give bigger attention to a bigger problem, that is the economic problem faced by many Indians, such as loss of income and employment. In Mumbai, with camera person Rajendra Dayalkar, this is Purva Chitnis for NDTV.
Now, as preparations for Eid began, huge crowds were seen in Hyderabad's Charminar area. Not just social distancing that went for a complete toss, many were seen roaming without masks. The Telangana High Court on Wednesday had ordered the state government to impose additional restrictive measures to flatten the curve in the state. The court observed that stricter measures will have to be taken besides extending the night curfew and imposing a weekend lockdown. Now, the External Affairs Minister has said that you don't stop elections in a country like India. We bring you this ground report from Uttar Pradesh, where in village after village, there have been deaths that by all indications have been caused by coronavirus. This just after Panchayat elections, when lakhs of migrants came home to vote.
The funeral pyre of Jai Prakash at Mayorpur village in Sonbhadra district of Uttar Pradesh. Just in this village, there have been 7 deaths in the last 12 days. 70-year-old Jayaprakash had developed difficulty in breathing. He was taken to a local hospital, but there was no COVID testing facility and he could not be tested. So he was sent back home. He died the next day.
सांस लेने में दिक्कत थी, फिर हम लोग यहाँ से जिला अस्पताल ले गए, बोले कि पॉजिटिव रहेगा तो उनको लेंगे और नहीं तो नहीं लेंगे, और प्राइवेट में कहीं ऑक्सीजन था नहीं, और फिर उसको उनको लेकर हम लोग घर आए, इसी दौरान उनकी मौत हो गई।
At Mehuli village, 90 kilometers away from the district headquarters, there have been 7 deaths in the last 15 days. 47-year-old Aditya Kanojia had become breathless, but he was refused admission and treatment at many hospitals because he did not have a COVID positive certificate. He died at his home.
वहाँ कोई डॉक्टर नहीं था, वो देखने को तैयार नहीं हुआ, कहीं कोविड चेक करने के बाद बताया कोविड नहीं है, उसके बाद वो चलाया घर। फिर शाम को हम लोग देखे कि बड़ा इत्मीनान है।
One big reason for the spike in coronavirus cases in rural Uttar Pradesh has been the return of an estimated 12 to 14 lakh migrants from crowded urban centers like Mumbai and elsewhere just before Panchayat elections, when the return journey was sponsored by hopeful candidates in a state that has over 1 lakh villages. During the elections, from campaigning to voting and victory celebrations, COVID protocols were forgotten. The cost of the vote has been paid with lives. With Kamal Khan in Lucknow, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
In some other news, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal on Thursday said that his administration won't let anyone die of oxygen shortage if it got the earmarked 700 tons of supply from the central government amid the unprecedented coronavirus crisis.
जैसा मैंने बताया, दिल्ली को 700 टन ऑक्सीजन की ज़रूरत है। कल पहली बार केंद्र सरकार ने 730 टन ऑक्सीजन भेजी है। अगर 700 टन ऑक्सीजन डेली आ जाती है, दिल्ली के अंदर हम इतने सारे ऑक्सीजन के बेड्स क्रिएट कर देंगे, ढेरों बेड्स क्रिएट करने का हमने प्लान बनाया हुआ है। 9,500 बेड हम तुरंत तैयार कर सकते हैं अगर ऑक्सीजन समुचित मिल जाए हम लोगों को। अगर 700 टन ऑक्सीजन डेली आने लग गई, मैं आपको यकीन दिलाता हूं, दिल्ली में किसी भी व्यक्ति की ऑक्सीजन की कमी की वजह से मौत नहीं होने देंगे।